Ready or not, here we go again. I'm back out here at my 18-foot camper remodel site, and we're going to do a fun project today, which is adding on some skirting. This is what we were working with previously, which is a plastic kind of lattice material. I'm taking it down because I want to add something that is easier to weed eat around because I do all the lawn maintenance at the property, and I want something that's just really durable, although the plastic lattice did hold up very nicely. Something that won't encourage weeds to grow under the camper would be nice. I'm back over here at Home Depot, which I feel like is like my second home for real, and I'm kind of just going through the materials and trying to find something that I want to work with. I end up going with the corrugated metal over the plastic, and I think that's going to last longest. For this project, I'm just picking up a few extra stakes, and I'm going to be using a little bit of trim that I have left over from my roof project. I'm using some really large metal shears to cut this stuff, and I'm going to see what I can come up with for replacing my lattice skirting that I put on my camper previously. I liked using the stake method because that way I'm not really like putting too many drills into the camper itself. So when I put these wooden stakes into the ground around the camper, I can just drill right into them. And it also makes it easier to move or transport the camper should I ever have to move my camper. I have leftover sheet metal screws that I'm going to use to work with this corrugated metal and drill it into the stakes. The really tricky part of this project was, of course, just trimming the corrugated metal longwise. It was really painstaking and took forever, but this is kind of what I came up with, and I think it's gonna keep out the weeds and kind of insulate the interior camper really nicely. So again, for this particular part around the wheels, I'm actually just using leftover roofing pieces to trim it all out along the top. And even I'm surprised it turned out this good. And of course I had to try out weed eating around it right away to see how it holds up to my weed eater. Well, not too shabby on the skirt work, it held up really nice with my weed eater. So I'm carrying on with my day by going ahead and adding a little step in front of my camper, something that feels a little bit more permanent and can give you a nice lift up into the trailer. I had a few extra bricks on the side of my garage and I'm using those up, and they just kind of fit together perfectly. On the corners, again, I used some trim work that's I think meant for roofing, but it worked really nice for trim work underneath the camper. Okay, you can see that the skirting is weather and rodent tight, and it's not too terrible to look at either. Other than a few little blisters on my fingers from cutting the metal, it was a relatively pain-free, affordable project.